Hey everybody, welcome to a new week. I hope you're having a great start to the week and also a great start to your year. Today I've got a really important message because I spent a bit of time last week meeting with various business owners, and something just reminded me of something that I hear quite a bit actually, and that is when I'm talking to entrepreneurs that are in their 50s, 60s, 70s, and you know what, honestly, even in their 80s, I hear often that they have a 5-year plan to transition their business to new owners. The interesting thing is, I've been in this business long enough that those 5-year plans, when I meet those same owners a few years later, they still have a 5-year plan. Meet them a couple of years later, they have another 5-year plan, but it's never written down. It's just in their mind that 5 years is a safe kind of time frame to put out there for a transition. But they keep kicking the can down the road because they haven't put pieces in place to really make it all happen. I remember back in 2010, I'd meet with owners, that were in their 60s, thinking about selling, and they'd say, "Well, look, we've just come out of this 2008, 2010 recession. Things are going really well. I'd rather just keep it going for a while." Or I'd meet with other owners at that time saying, "Look, things are still tough. Multiples are still down. I'm going to keep holding on to the business for a few years." And that continued and continued. So what I want you to think about today, and this is really important if you're a business owner, but it's also important if you're an accountant, a lawyer, an estate planner, an exit planner, helping clients to really think about their transition plans in a different way than just the 5-year plan. So what I want you to think about is creating a 2028 plan. So that gives you 5 years to plan, but then what I want you to do is start putting pieces in place to really deliver on that plan. So here's a little bit of thoughts that you could maybe put in place to really make that plan come together. And I think most importantly, having a date 5 years out, a fixed date, January 2028, that's when I want to be out of my business. I want to have sold the business, whether it's to management, I want to have transferred it to my kids, or I want to have sold it to a third party by January of 2028. This allows you and your management team to focus attention on what needs to be done between now and then. It allows the management team to get motivated and bought into a plan that hopefully will make sense to them as well, that they see themselves getting rewarded or benefiting from it, or maybe even participating in that transition plan. And 5 years is long enough to make some significant changes to the way the business is operated that will actually drive tremendous value when you go to transition the business. And I'm not talking about profits here or EBITDA, cash flow, whatnot. I'm talking about improving the multiple that you can get from selling your business in 5 years. So even if the profits were flat, if you could improve the multiple by 1 turn or 2 turns, or maybe even more than that, of EBITDA or cash flow, you could do exceptionally well. And so the things that you do today I would look at them as an investment in that future value of the business. Meanwhile, your management team can be focusing on new sales and gross margin improvements and new product categories, new geographies, etc. So how does that compare with the 5-year plan? Well, the 5-year plan, as I said at the outset, it's just something that just gets kicked down the road every year, every 2 years. It continues to be a 5-year plan, and nothing happens. And it's just so easy to move the goalpost because nobody's really paying that much attention if it just keeps rolling forward. It doesn't create any pressure, motivation to make changes today. And so I'd like you to think about, as a motivator, the things that you can do to improve the value of your business regardless of the profitability. So improving that multiple. The other thing I've found over the years, and I've been advising business owners for well over, I hate to say, about over 30 years now, but it's easy to lose management support when you keep making changes arbitrarily. Good managers, executives are more likely to switch jobs, find something else that's going to be more self-fulfilling, more rewarding for themselves if the goalposts keep changing. So here's some thoughts. First of all, and I've got some more thoughts at the end of this very short video. and a special promotion for those people that want to dig a lot deeper and really start to drive value. So hold on to the end of the video. It's only one more slide, I think. So what are the steps that you could take now that are going to really start to improve value? Well, first of all, I tell business owners, if you've got a reasonable sized business, you should be moving to audited financial statements if you haven't done so already. This provides you better reporting capabilities, better understanding of your own numbers, but it also creates less uncertainty for a buyer when they come to buy the business. They can see the numbers, see the notes to the financial statements, and really understand what's going on. On top of that, it actually allows your management team to make better decisions. And with better decisions, hopefully you'll improve all the other metrics, the profitability and the margins and the inventory turns, the accounts receivable days, etc. I would really encourage you to build detailed budgets. And you'll hear about it in my course. We have a three-way budget model, which ties in your three financial statements, P&L, balance sheet, and cash flow statement, into one budget that people can monitor throughout the year. I'd also say when you're looking, if you have new management hires to try and find this year or next year, don't just hire managers, hire executives. And what do I mean by that? I mean, managers are very functionally oriented, maybe very good at what they do, but they may not be strategically minded in terms of the bigger picture that's going to impact the business and really have dramatic effect. They're more expensive. It takes longer to find them. You need to make sure that there's a proper cultural fit, etc. But they are golden if and when you go to sell the business. Next year, and I'm even beginning this year, I think with hiring executives instead of managers, but certainly by next year, I want you to start thinking more like an owner and less like an entrepreneur. And that may sound a little offensive, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to be offensive. What I mean is start extricating yourself from the day-to-day minutia of the business and really think more strategically about the operations. Don't get involved in all the day-to-day operations and decision-making. Leave that to the executives and the managers on your team. The more you do that, the easier it is for you to leave the business when the time comes with a nice, clean transition period. And that can be, it also helps to reduce the risk that buyers may see in the business, that the business is too tied to you personally. So think about that, because I think it's really important to start elevating yourself to work on the business or above the business, as some people say, instead of in the business. Start to talk to your tax advisor. You work through the accounting firm that you're working with. If you've moved up to an audit, they will be definitely pushing you to think about tax plans. Take them up on it. At the end of the day, when you sell the business, you want to get the most after-tax dollars. So the more you can do prior to close, not on the day of close, the week before close, or the months leading up to a close, but in the years leading up to a close, the things you can do now can probably save you several percentage points of tax, if not more, when it comes time to sell. By 2025, this management team, this executive team, they should have retention bonuses and bonus plans that are based on performance metrics that they're responsible for. So if you've got somebody involved in inventory management, they should be incentivized by the number of turns of inventory and the lack of stock outages throughout the year. And you can figure that out depending on what business you're in. Start to continue to improve the documentation of your business. Get contracts with your key suppliers, key customers, etc. Because those buyers look very favorably on those types of contracts when it comes time to buy the business. And also start to think about the type of buyer that is going to make the most sense to you. Talk to an investment banker like me or others in your market to really understand what buyers are going to be looking for and what type of buyer is going to be is most attracted to your business and willing to pay the highest multiple. By 2026, start cleaning up all of your normalizations. And that's something we talk about a lot in investment banking circles in the private market. These are personal expenses that you run through the business on a regular basis. The more that you can reduce those and have a really clean P&L that you're showing to a buyer, I think the better. Things like luxury vehicles, boats, planes, college tuition, personal travel, etc. Try and eliminate those as much as possible, because I think having a clean P&L does show a lot better. You may want to start benchmarking yourself and figure out what the value is in the business, what sort of valuation metrics you've got, and even think about a sell-side due diligence exercise. Now, these tend to be expensive, so they tend to be more focused on larger businesses, but that will be really an accounting firm looking at your business through the eyes of a buyer, and that will highlight things that you may need to do differently. By 2027, management team should be well in place. They should be aware of what's going on in terms of the transition by this point in time, and they should be motivated to help you to get to that finish line the way that you want to. As through years 1 to 5, continue to improve your budgeting process, learning from past years and making the changes into next year. And then hire an investment banker, an M&A advisor. If you're a smaller business, maybe it's a business broker, and really start the process so that by the end of 2027, going into 2028, you can execute on your plan. You can reward your executive team very nicely because they've delivered on their promises, and you can go on to whatever new purpose that you have in life, whether that's investing in real estate or involved in charities or travel or spending time with grandchildren. So those are 5 years of work that I would love to see business owners take as they prepare to sell the business. I think they would get a much better result when the time comes to transition. So I mentioned there'd be a special offer at the end of this. What I'd like to do is I've built, as you may have heard in past videos, I've launched a value builder program for entrepreneurs that are thinking about a transition. I believe this course is quite unique in the market. I haven't found anything else like it that helps entrepreneurs to plan for a transition, think about all these things that we just talked about, and really have a roadmap that's going to hopefully improve value and also reduce the anxiety that is accompanying most transitions. Now, the course isn't that expensive. It's $1,000 US. You can take it whenever you want. You can download templates and have them for forever. You can come back into the course whenever you want once you've signed up. And I think it's just tremendous value. The people that have taken it have spoken really, really highly of it, that it's changed the way they've thought about their business in terms of planning for that future transition. And that includes entrepreneurs that are in their 40s, which is quite interesting to me, that it's not just for baby boomers. So I'm taking 30% off until the end of January. With that, you get a free transition readiness diagnostic. It's a questionnaire that creates a report that really benchmarks where you are today. There's budget templates. I mentioned the 3-way budget template. There's other bonus materials on due diligence questionnaires and things like that I think you'll find really, really valuable. So I think for $700, this is a fantastic price, and I'm absolutely certain you will find great value in it. If you don't, if you think, yeah, this wasn't really for me, we're happy to refund 100% of the cost when if you send us a note. Now I'll put the URL on this link, but it and use the coupon plan 2028 and you'll get the 30% discount. But that's only until the end of the month. I've scheduled it that stops at midnight on the 31st. So hopefully you'll sign up and enjoy the course. And I'd love to hear your feedback, comments, etc. When you've got into it. Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day, and I will